2012, I was introduced to it. I started to accumulate. 2013, I wrote an article. And
so hold on, just so we know and can feel bad about ourselves, you're accumulating it at what price?
Well, my dollar cost average is around 100 and something.
And you've held it, everything you've bought?
Well, at one point, myself and, so I was introduced to it by a person. I asked him if I could disclose his name. He said no. But he, myself, and another person, all three of us relatively well known in the Valley, we started, at one point, we owned almost 5% of the entire float in 2013. We've sold, they've sold, et cetera, et cetera. I wish we had kept it all. We didn't. It's fine. But then I wrote an article, and I said, you know what? There's so much asymmetric upside here. This is a thing that either goes to, at the time I said, roughly the value of gold. And at the time, it was about $100 a coin. And so there's very little downside. There's all this asymmetric upside. I said, take 1% of your net worth and buy this schmuck insurance. And it's a schmuck insurance in this kind of very elegant, beautiful way.
I missed the schmuck insurance.
That was at $100, though. What would I mean? I actually started hearing from people that I know very well who don't often invest, who are now asking me if this is the time to invest.
Buy the schmuck insurance now.
Here's the thing. This is now a confidence game, right? There is no real utility in this. This is a fantastic, fundamental hedge and store of value against autocratic regimes and banking infrastructure that we know is corrosive to how the world needs to work properly. You cannot have central banks infinitely printing currency. You cannot have folks with, misguided and misdirected monetary and fiscal policy.
We've done okay.
You just called it a confidence game, which is a con game.
And we've done okay.
It's
the economy is built on central banks and built on fiat currencies, where you said yourself how much better life is in every respect than it's ever been, and that's with that as a infrastructure.
So we've seen the first few chapters of this, and now we have to go through this great unwind, right? When all this liquidity now, what happens?
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. And so all I'm saying is to have the ability to hedge that out in a way that isn't fundamentally correlated to the people and the infrastructure that made those decisions that we were not a part of fundamentally, I think is a smart thing.
But the point is, if you haven't jumped on this bus or train or whatever vehicle you want to describe it as, has it left the station?
No. So here's what I would say. The same way that I said in 2013, put 1% of your net worth into Bitcoin, I will put myself out there today. I think this thing is $100,000 a coin, probably in the next 3 to 4 years. And I think it is, in the next 20 years, $1 million a coin. So there you have it.